What's up to all my people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 128 and season 4, episode 26 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 128th time. And I'd like to welcome all of my fellow lowlifes, scumbags, hoodlums, shady characters, anybody named Phil Mickelson, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, cheats, friends and family of the gooch, fiends with abusive language, and degenerates. I mean, let's face it, basically anybody with a massive gambling problem. Cruz. If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into a few of those categories, so welcome. Because you're now one of us, gooba gabba, one of us. We accept it. Sorry, sometimes I get a little excited there. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right here, down in the lower right-hand corner. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word, that's also very easy. Just tell other degenerates and scumbags, Cruz, to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That'll take you to my page so you can get dialed into everything that I give you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's really going on with this channel, it's simple. It's college and pro football winners, MLB winners, playoffs, and college basketball winners. I give you my picks to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. The books, they don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm an outlier and a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. Step into the party, disrupt the whole scene. That's what I do. I go to the mattresses and get the info for you every week in order to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have a few thoughts. Let me start with the Super Bowl hangover. And just some thoughts about last week's game. Kansas City has now won back-to-back Super Bowls in 3 of the last 5. But this one was done differently. Defense is what won this game. The national sports media and even you can go on and on and on calling Patrick Mahomes the greatest of all time, and he wasn't very good for 3 quarters but made it happen down the stretch after some questionable decisions by the 49ers coaching staff and, more importantly, the Chiefs' defense. Kansas City's defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, dialed up blitzes more than he had all season for one reason. 49er quarterback Brock Purdy doesn't react well to blitzes. Every time there was a crucial third down during the 49ers' last possession in the fourth quarter and their last possession in overtime, Spagnuolo blitzed, and San Fran was unable to pick up a key first down. The 49ers had to settle for field goals in both situations and kept giving the ball back to Mahomes with a chance to win the game. Purdy looked calm in his first Super Bowl. He was poised and he played reasonably well, but he missed a few golden opportunities to put the game away, thus allowing Mahomes a chance to steal a game in which the Chiefs were outplayed for basically 3 full quarters. And don't underestimate the injury that 49er linebacker Dre Greenlaw suffered when he tore his Achilles heel running onto the field. At halftime, Travis Kelce was irrelevant. He had 1 catch for 1 yard while Greenlaw was in his kitchen for the first half. In the second half, though, without Greenlaw, Kelce got loose through the secondary, and that was a direct result of Dre's injury. SF head coach Kyle Shanahan has been under fire as well for his play calling in the second half and the decision to get the ball first in overtime, allowing Mahomes 4 downs during the final drive, which he eventually led to the Super Bowl winning touchdown. Shanahan's defense was... his defense was that he wanted the ball third. Now, in which the game would have become sudden death if that happens. And that makes sense. Right? But it's always easier to second-guess people after the fact. I'm not taking his side, but his retort makes you think, definitely. It was then followed by Shanahan and general manager John Lynch firing defensive coordinator Steve Wilks 2 days ago, and now with a massive question mark about who will run this unit next year, Lynch and Shanahan are going to have their hands full. I'm not going to comment on the shooting at the Chiefs victory parade a couple days ago because I'm not going to get into a debate about gun rights and people that are insane. The Chiefs are actively talking about a possible three-peat, which seems premature, but with that young defense, they should be in a good position as long as they re-sign Chris Jones. As usual, the offseason is going to bring plenty of changes to all teams. So as usual, we'll just have to let it play out instead of, I'm going to pick my playoff teams and my Super Bowl winners for next year. No, thanks. I'd rather wait. Next up is my thoughts on the downfall of the NCAA, which, make no mistake about it, is going to happen. I've been talking about this issue for years, namely how bad it would be to college athletics if we not only allowed the transfer portal, but started paying students, i.e. NIL deals. That doesn't even cover the fact that all college athletes who were in college in 2020 were allowed an extra year of eligibility because of COVID. So in some cases, there's 25 and 26-year-olds playing against freshmen and sophomores who won't be allowed that fifth year of eligibility. What's happening now is that coaches are beginning to leave, especially in football. And that's alarming. It started when Nick Saban just up and retired, sending shockwaves through the NCAA. Well, it wasn't really a shockwave to me, though, because Nick Saban likes to coach football. It's what he does. Chip Kelly likes to coach football. Others are moving around because coaching is becoming less and less important, while recruiting, paying, and dealing with players coming and going through the transfer portal is taking away from their time coaching and building a culture. Chip Kelly stepped down as head coach of UCLA football to take an offensive coordinator job at Ohio State so he could coach and he wouldn't have to worry about the transfer portal or how much money the Board of Regents decides to give to recruits, which is now legal. 2 weeks ago, the Big Ten and the SEC, easily the two most powerful conferences in the country, had a closed-door meeting with both commissioners and executives to discuss the future of their respective conferences and what they need to do while the NCAA continues to vomit all over themselves and blow the billions of dollars that the TV networks are paying them for broadcast rights. Now, I'm not paid nearly enough to make those types of decisions, but I can fire away on NCAA President Charlie Baker, just as I did on his predecessor, Mark Emmert, for so spectacularly blowing this whole thing. College basketball has their own issues with the one-and-done rule that allows players to leave after 1 year. And between that and the transfer portal, continuity is what's hurting NCAA hoops. I've said for years that students should not be paid. But while the mob said that they deserve to be paid, considering how much money they're generating for their school as well as the NCAA, it's still a bad idea. Case in point, women's college basketball. Players like Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins, Angel Reese, they all stand to make much more money staying in college rather than going to the disaster that is the WNBA, which nobody watches and has ever watched for 30 years. Cruz bets on it, though, but that's Cruz. That's true degenerate shit there. College athletics will always exist, right? The WNBA only exists because they're being bankrolled by the NBA, despite the fact the WNBA loses millions of dollars each year because of the simple fact that nobody watches, because nobody cares. The effect is that college athletics are more profitable for female athletes and lots of males that won't make much in their respective professional leagues. Look at Caitlin Clark right now. She's the biggest story in all of college athletics right now. She became the women's all-time leading scorer last night. She still has another year of eligibility. And why would she leave for the NBA where she won't make any money when she can stay in Iowa, dominate, and make more money? I don't know what to tell you about the future of the calamity that has become the NCAA, but right now, it don't look good. In the meantime, Let's take a look at the week that was for me and my fellow hoodlums and dirtbags crews. Last week was one of my best weeks of the season, as I got off to an insanely hot start in college hoops and maintained that all the way through Super Bowl weekend. It was just something that I did. You know?
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
God, don't you hate that when Teddy KGB just pops in? Now, while a true hater was busy calling me average at best while he was in the midst of an 0-11 stretch, I managed to drop a massive number in college hoops, and while I split the Super Bowl side in total, I did hit 4 of the 7 props I gave you last week, including 3 that were plus money, to make the whole weekend huge. I also hit the Degenerate Special for the 4th straight week. If played correctly, you got even more cash.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
In the meantime, let's take a look at the week that was for me and my fellow hoodlums and dirtbags crews. Here are the numbers. Last week, 65 wins, 36 losses, 2 ties, good for 64.36%. That's just a huge week. And that certainly beats average at best. Come on.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
That's what this man is getting, his money, while guys on 0-11 stretches aren't. So 65, 36, and 2 at 64%. That's just great. I'll take that every week the rest of the year and retire. NFL playoffs. Finished the season 14 wins, 11 losses, 1 push. 56%. Isn't great, but the 4 prop bets that I hit, they certainly helped that number. NCAA hoops on the season, 560 wins, 404 losses, 14 pushes, 58.09%. Back above 58% for the first time this year in college hoops. I guess that means that it's average at best. Overall, all 25 weeks, every pick that I've given you this season, 1,070 wins, 768 losses, 25 pushes, 58.21%. Back over 58% on the season as I push for 59 by this time next month. I mean, please remember now that all of these picks are 100% free for all those touts that give you 75 to 80% winners. Come on now. We all know that you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks. With me, just come to YouTube every week and I'll drop my plays on you for free. You can also follow me on X at Stony Woods, STONIE Woods. The last few days in college hoops, I've been giving you picks in the comments section of Stoniecast 127. And after a 9-4 Tuesday, I stumbled the last 2 days. But like I've always said, this time of year, our weeks are made on Saturdays. So I did give you some picks for today. I'm off to kind of a pretty good start, but there's games going on. I don't even want to get into today's games. Tomorrow, this is when shit gets real. So let's fire away. Noon Eastern in Tuscaloosa on ESPN. 15th ranked Alabama is an 8.5-point home favorite over Texas A&M. Bama's been cruising lately, aside from their loss at Auburn, where everyone seems to lose these days. While A&M is coming off a loss here in Music City to lowly Vanderbilt on Tuesday. Bama has the horses. Give me the Tide at home. Noon Eastern in Ames, the first of many big-time Big 12 matchups, has number 10 Iowa State as 8-point home chalk over Texas Tech. Iowa State is a legitimate Final Four contender and has won 7 of 8, and Texas Tech bounced back from a brutal 3-game losing streak with wins over UCF and Kansas. State wins, but Tech covers. Give me the Red Raiders here, catching the 8 on the road. Staying in the Big 12, the Battle of the Purple goes at noon Eastern on ESPNU in the Little Apple of Manhattan, where Kansas State is a 1.5-point home favorite versus TCU. K-State has fallen on hard times and has dropped 4 of their last 5. So I'm going to take TCU, Jamie Dixon, on the road plus 1.5 with a sprinkle on the money line. Noon Eastern on Big Ten Network in the land of Lincoln. Nebraska's a 7.5-point home favorite over Penn State. Nebraska's for real and very dangerous at home. And Penn State won't be able to keep up. I like the Huskers minus 7.5. In the ACC at noon Eastern on ESPN2 in Charlottesville, 21st ranked Virginia is a 3.5-point home favorite over Wake Forest. Wake's high-scoring offense versus Virginia's pack line defense is going to decide this game. I like Wake, and despite Virginia's loss at home to Pitt on Tuesday and the unlikely event of UVA losing 2 straight at home, I still like the Deeks here. Give me Wake plus 3.5 with a sprinkle on the money line.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
That man needs his money. Tell him, Teddy. Excuse me. All right. 12:30 Eastern on Big Fox at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Number 17 Creighton comes in as 3.5-point road chalk at Butler. Both schools have won 4 of 6, and as much as I like Butler at the Hink, I got to roll with the Blue Jays. I'll take Creighton minus 3.5. 1 Eastern in Athens on SEC Network. Florida comes to town as 2.5-point road favorites at Georgia. Florida's become a very dangerous team in the SEC, and while they're not the same away from Gainesville, they still have too much gain for Georgia. Give me the Gators minus 2.5. Big 12 basketball at 1 Eastern on CBS in H-Town. Third-ranked Houston's a 10-point home favorite versus Texas. I like Texas, but not here. Houston's defense is legit and has NCAA number 1 seed written all over them. Yeah, 10's a big number, but I still like the Cougars here, laying all of them. 2 Eastern on ESPN in Tallahassee. Number 9 Duke is a 5-point road chalk at Florida State, where the Noles haven't looked good lately. Duke has been hit or miss recently, but I still like the Devils laying the 5 on the road. 2 Eastern on the ACC Network in Chapel Hill. 7th-ranked North Carolina is an 11-point home favorite over Virginia Tech. Carolina has the goods, but they also have some puzzling losses lately. They're the classic example of feast or famine. For that reason, I'll dance with Va Tech and all those points on the road. 2 Eastern in Stillwater in the Big 12. Number 19 BYU comes to town as a 7-point road chalk at Oklahoma State. BYU's steadily improving and Okie State's a hot mess. Give me the Cougars here laying the number on the road, reluctantly. 2:15 Eastern on Big Ten Network in Iowa City. 20th ranked Wisconsin comes in as 1.5-point road favorites at Iowa. Iowa has had an uneven year and doesn't have the size to keep up with the Badgers. I like the Pack of Badgers as the short road favorite here. The game of the day is not a Big 12 matchup, but instead we head to the Big East at 3 Eastern on Big Fox in Stores, where top-ranked Connecticut is a 7-point home favorite over number 4 Marquette. Both schools are very complete and very deep. Connecticut has been playing like the defending champs, crushing opponents lately. But Marquette has been steadily winning and winning quietly. So I'll take Marquette on the road, catching 7 behind magician point guard Tyler Kolek. 3:30 Eastern on SEC Network in Columbia. Number 11 South Carolina is a 5.5-point home favorite over LSU. South Carolina got crushed by Auburn by 40 points the other night. And the question is, were they exposed or did they just have an off night? Well, they're playing punk-ass, bitch-ass LSU here. So I'm on South Carolina to right the ship. Another Big 12 matchup featuring 2 ranked teams goes at 4 Eastern on ESPN in Norman, as 6th-ranked Kansas comes to town as 1-point road favorites at 25th-ranked Oklahoma. Yeah, OU's dangerous at home. But I can't go against the Jayhawks here only laying a point when my power rankings have KU as a 5-point favorite. Give me KU as the road chalk. Rock chalk. Road chalk. Jayhawk. KU minus 5.5. -1, sorry. Here's a good matchup in the Mountain West at 5:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network in Fort Collins, where Colorado State's a 5-point home favorite against Utah State. The Mountain West has some good teams this year, and two more are getting after it right here. Not only do I like Utah State plus the points, but also take them on the money line. That's a sprinkle. Sprinkle away. Tell him, Teddy. Tell him, Teddy.
Pay that man his money.
5:30 Eastern in Hotlanta on the CW. Syracuse is a 1.5-point road favorite at Georgia Tech. Tech's not good, and Syracuse is not good on the road. But I've been hyping Syracuse point guard Judah Mintz for 2 years now. Remember, when this guy becomes an NBA All-Star, Stoney was the guy that told you about him when he was a 17-year-old freshman. All right? This guy is going to be in the association next year. Tech has no answer for him. Give me the orange on the road in Hot Town. 5:30 Eastern on Big Fox in College Park. 14th ranked Illinois enters a short 2-point road favorite at Maryland. Illinois is infinitely better, but a Maryland win right here is going to go a long way towards their resume in 3 weeks. I don't care. Give me the Illini anyway on the road. SEC game of the day goes at 6 Eastern on the Plains on ESPN, where 13th ranked Auburn is an 8.5-point home favorite over number 22 Kentucky. Auburn's rolling right now and will win this game. But even though UK has struggled lately, I still like the Cats here, catching all those points on the road. 6 Eastern on the Pac-12 network in Pullman. Washington State is an 8-point home favorite over Stanford. I like Washington State a lot, and they're looking more and more like a tournament team next month. But this is a big number to lay, and I'll take Stanford and all those points on the road. 6 Eastern on ESPN2 in Morgantown. 12th ranked Baylor is a 6.5-point road favorite at West Virginia. Baylor needs this one as they're going to run the gauntlet right through the heart of the Big 12 next week. So I'm going to take the Bears as the 6.5-point road chalk to put West Virginia away early. 7:45 Eastern on the CW network in the ACC. Clemson is an 8-point home favorite over North Carolina State. Clemson is dangerous, and they're going to be a force in the ACC tournament, while NC State's just trying to hang around. Yeah, that's more classic Teddy KGB shit. That's my next sound bet. Hanging around. Hanging around. The kid's got alligator blood. Classic middle here. Clemson wins. NC State gets the cover. Gimme Wolfpack. Catching 8. 8 Eastern on Big Fox in Ann Arbor. Michigan State is a 6.5-point road favorite at Michigan. The Wolverines are a complete train wreck, but they're still committed to Juwan Howard. This is Tom Izzo's time of year, though. Sparty's the play here. 8 Eastern on Pac-12 Network in Seattle. Washington's a 7-point home favorite over Cal. I got burned last week with Cal and the points at Washington State. I won't make that same mistake here. Huskies -7. 9:30 Eastern on Pac-12 Network in Tucson. 5th-ranked Arizona is a massive 18.5-point home favorite over Arizona State. The Sun Devils are struggling, shout out Joe Willie. And Bob Hurley doesn't seem to have a clue, while Arizona is making a case for the best team in the nation right now. Yeah, it's a big number, but I don't give a shit. Cats roll. 10 Eastern in Corvallis on Pac-12 Network. Oregon comes in as 8-point road chalk at Oregon State. The Ducks are good, but they have some worrisome outings lately. OSU's tough at home, so give me the Beavs catching 8. 10 Eastern on ESPN2 in La La Land. Colorado is a 2-point road favorite at USC. Both these teams scare me. SC scares me more. Give me the Buffs and lay the short number. And finally, for all you degenerates, Cruz, this week's Degenerate Special goes at 11:30 Eastern in America's Playground on CBS Sports Network as UNLV is a short 2-point home favorite over Nevada. Excuse me, Nevada. Get that right. It's not Nevada. It's Nevada. These two rivals are heading in different directions. And as much as I know that Nevada's the better team, they're primed for an upset here. So I'll take the Runnin' Rebels -2 to close out a busy Saturday. That's 28 plays for another crazy Saturday in February. And that's got to be enough to keep you busy. As a reminder, check back in every day in the comments section of this video for college hoops picks starting on Sunday, which is going to be busy. And we're going to roll right up until Stoniecast 129 next Friday night, right around this time. So until then, just remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. And good luck to the Oakland dancers, the Oakland Greek dancers at FDF this weekend in Anaheim. Kick some ass. Miss you, Gooch, my brother. Teddy, take us
Pay
away.
him. Pay that man his money.